Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen O'Connor from Quilters Heaven in Northbrook, Illinois, and I am the Opinionated Quilter. Today's episode number 155 is Fixing Bad Patterns. But before we get to that, I'd like to thank you all for your kind words about the tribute to my mom last week and for sharing all of your stories. I really appreciate it. Now I'd like to show you what I did with the woven star blocks. One of the hardest things that I do in preparing for these YouTube videos is making demonstration pieces to show you, especially when I know they're never going to be put into anything. They are going to just go in a dog bed stuffing bag or thrown away, basically. Then, when I'm not going to do anything with it, I want to use either really bad fabric, really ugly fabric, really low quality fabric. But when I do that, they're just visually not appealing. When I'm making something, I want to make it visually appealing. And that's what I think I accomplished with the woven star blocks. If you recall, the combo units were made in numbers of 4. So I have 4 blocks. I only used 3 here to make this table runner because I like odd numbers. All I had to do was add 4 side setting triangles. And of course, that works great because you use quarter square triangles. You're not going to have a couple left over, which you often do. And the 4th block will just be a standalone candle mat. And all now I have to do is quilt them and bind them. More on table runners. My sister wanted 2 table runners for her birthday coming up in June. One for her dining room table and one for the sideboard. I didn't want to make 2 identical table runners, but I wanted them to coordinate and look good together. Here I have the rail and square table runner, which you've seen before. It's an old Trudy Hughes design. It works up fast. I love making this one. So I went ahead and made the first one. And so many people say about not wanting to do things where the receivers of the gifts, pick the fabric because they pick things that you don't like, and we like to work on things that we like. Well, I mostly show people what I have and let them pick. In this case, that wasn't going to work. So my sister came into the shop and picked this fabric as the focus fabric, and then I picked everything else. I sure hope she likes it. But I made this one first. And then I said, what pattern can I find that goes nicely with this one? And I found this lattice table runner from Shabby Fabrics. And I thought this would look great with the rail and square. And I love how we've got the same kind of angles going on. But as I made it, I found 3 things that I really didn't care for. And this is what I want to try to teach you today is if you like the pattern, still go ahead and make it. But what you want to do is change the things that are wrong with it and fix them so that you're making the project correctly. So in this pattern, it had you cut all individual pieces and then sew them together. Now this is the main block right here, and you can see there it is in the project. And I'm not going to cut all individual pieces when I can make a strip set. Now if I make a strip set, I only need a half of one. Now I of course went ahead and made a whole one, so I'm getting 2 table runners out of it, but that's okay. I'll give one away to my sister and keep one here for a store sample, so it all works for me. But if you're at home, you would only make a half a strip set. And if you have leftover strips, it's really okay because as you put together the quilt, you need more 2.5-inch strips to finish out several of the pieces. So those other half a strips will still be used. They won't be wasted. Now, another thing that happened as I made it, is it had two pieces of fabric, the exact same fabric sewn together. I'm not sure you can see it on the camera, but these are two separate pieces here. There's a seam here. And on this side, it's one piece. And after I made it, I said, why would you do that? I would rather have it be one piece. There's a solution for that, and that's doing a partial seam. And when we switch out the board, I will show you how you do that. Don't be afraid of partial seams. They're a great solution for many things. This one is the one that really bothered me the most. These are kind of in order of less important to more important. In the pattern, they have you use half square triangles for the side setting triangles. Well, if this is a half square triangle, this is the straight grain and this is the bias. You don't want the bias on the outside of your project. So the solution is you really want to do quarter square triangles, so this straight grain is on the outside here. And like I said, they're kind of ranked in order. You may be a person who doesn't like to do strip sets, and you really like to cut the individual pieces and sew them together, having them the exact right length the first time. That's okay. If you prefer this method, you go with this method. It really is just a personal preference here. Again, this is slightly personal preference too, but it never makes sense to me to cut two pieces half the size, sew them together when you can do one piece the right size. It's just not logical to me. And this one to me is just bad quilt construction. If anybody ever tells you to use the half square when it should be the quarter square, just convert the math to this. I've referred you to Bonnie Hunter's charts before, and Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop also has the charts. All you have to do is see what number the half square triangle is for that size block, and instead of do the quarter squares. Now let's switch out the boards, and I'm going to show you how you do the strip set and partial seam. So there are two strip sets to make in this pattern. And this first one, this is all I had left of it, but I certainly had enough to get all the pieces that I needed. But it's this unit right here. And it's the exact same unit that's used here. So depending on how many blocks you're making, the pattern calls for one less repeat than I did. If you make the 4 full blocks, a half a strip set is enough. If you are just making the 3 blocks that are in the pattern, you have well enough, no problem. And this is the strip set here, that's this piece here. And you definitely have enough. With a half a strip set would be plenty for your 3 blocks, and you even can get 4 blocks out of the half a strip set. But how do you do then the partial seam? In this example here, I have made a partial seam here. I take this strip set piece and sew it to this unit that I've already made, but I don't go all the way across. That's why it's called a partial seam. You just sew partially. Then I add this piece here instead of what was in the pattern, 2 pieces, one attached to here and one attached to here. It's one piece. Then you go ahead and add this unit up here, which is the exact same as this unit. Sew that. Then you add this piece, which is exactly how the pattern has you do it. And then lastly, you come back here, sew this seam down, and finish off this seam. That's how easy a partial seam is. You then have this block. So then you just follow the pattern the rest of the way and make the triangles that go in here. Actually, that's a square, but goes in here, and then you add your quarter square triangles for here to finish out the pattern. and I think it turned out great, and I hope she loves them. Now, let's get to the winner of the giveaway. The winner of the last of the batiks is Kathy Thedon. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Kathytheden. Please email me your mailing address and I will get that package right out to you. This week's giveaway, I think you're going to like. These are those larger fat quarter pieces. I'm calling it a fat quarter bundle, but it's really bigger than that. It's not 18 by 21, 22. It's 21 by 21. There's 8 of them in here. It's a really nice selection. It's from a company called Pineapple Fabrics. I've not heard of it before, but it feels like really good quality fabric. So if you'd like to enter to win this fat quarter bundle, you know what to do. You want to like this video, you want to comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. And in the comment, write pineapple, and you will be entered to win. So that's today's episode. If you have any patterns that you've struggled with and you want some help, send it to me and let me see if I can figure out a better way to do it. So until next time, happy sewing.